Well, welcome to Paula's Paper Play, and we have a new collection from our friends at Paper Rose. This is out of Australia. 6x6 papers, and they're embossed die cuts. They're the only ones who have this type of die cuts. And here is just one of the cards, and you can see it has a wonderful surprise inside. Won't you please come play with us? Now, before we get into the cards, let me show you what these products are. So, Flower Shop is the name of the collection. These are 6x6 double-sided papers. Now, what you get, I'm going to scoot this over. What you're going to get are 18 sheets, 3 each of 12 designs if you do them front and back, but 6 sheets, okay? So here they are, and this is the one actually that you saw on the first card, and there's the back of it. Here are some cutouts with greetings and the back. I love this. And some larger pieces, larger cutouts, and flower stand, more bouquets, and there you go. So those are the 6. You're going to get 3 each. Then in the coordinating die cuts, as I said, they are embossed and they are raised, meaning that embossed. These are just going to pop right out. So there's 4 sheets, 1, 2, and you can see that shine, 3 and 4. Very fun to use, very easy to use. Okay, so that's that piece. So now let's get started. Here is the first card. And you saw that kind of stripe, kind of at a diagonal. And this is using a cutting die. So I've got happy, and when I open this, this is going to pop out. This is using our shutter cutting die. So easy. Okay, let me show you what you do. And here is the die. It is 1 piece, and it's going to make this piece on the back. Well, that's how I've chosen to use it this time. You could certainly have that on the front. So what you do, oh, and this card measures 4 inches by 5 7/8. So what I first did is I took my larger card, the regular cards that we use, 5 by 6.5, and trimmed it down to be 4 by 5 7/8. By the way, this is in the instructions down below. Then I took the opening piece that is getting replaced by this and just cut it off, leaving a 1/2 inch flap. Okay, now that flap is going to have some extra sticky tape on it, and we will be using that later. So we'll just set that aside for right now, and we'll get into our card front. Okay, so this piece I have put on the card front. It's just covering that card. I did add some more shading because this piece is 6x6. It's going to extend out further, and I wanted to have my shading equal all the way around. So I put the card onto my craft mat, and I use a blending brush with royal blue, and it just matched perfectly. Very happy with that. So that was that step. And I have to say, I have shied away from using the die cuts that have people in them, but I decided to use it this time because in my mind, I could really see her as part of that fence going into a garden, and I really wanted to let those two play. So I positioned them on the card front. Notice she is slightly over to the right from this piece. This is pretty much in the center of the card. This is foam taped, and she is glued flat. So I put her down first, foam taped that piece, and I used the big word dazzles, the big greeting dazzles, and this is the blue, as you can see. So it's got hello, I love you, thank you, happy birthday, with love, and it's got some little icons. So the happy was just perfect right there. And then I would normally think about maybe a butterfly up there, but we have the little bird dazzles now. We have them in gold and silver and blue. And there are 3 sizes. And so I just have them kind of going toward her. The little one first, the middle, and then the big. There are 2 different styles of birds, and so I just use one style. And so that's my card front. Pretty simple, but there's still stuff going on. Now, for my inside and my fabulous folded shutter, it was nice because this is 6 by 5 7/8. So just looking at this, I know my 6 by 6 sheet is going to work. And I chose this one with this on the back side. And let me show that to you again. So, and that's all you do. You just place it right, place the die right there, and you know, all you're doing is folding it. So it's just no big deal. You just want to decide which side you want to have facing you first. And I elected to have this kind of peach, but I wanted to carry the blue from the card front. So of course my birthday is going to go there, and I like doing it vertically there. I thought that was fun. Little icons that were on the sheet. I used the thin line dazzles. Now this is the colorful collection, and it's got gold, silver, green, red, blue, pinks, light blue, purple, copper, and brown. So you've got everything that you're going to need. And place that just on the 2 outside edges, just to have a bit of that blue transitioning from the front of my card to the inside. Now, as I said, my paper has this really decorative piece on the back side of it. So I only wanted that to show a little bit when I have the card like this before it gets like that. And I did take, and I showed you on the cards that some of them have these little cutouts, but they have words and greetings underneath. So because this is so busy, I just did the thinking of you. You can see it's right there. I just trimmed that out and foam taped it right on top, and I thought that was enough. I didn't need to do any more. I did, however, edge it with the gingerbread ink. Now this kind of has an orange tone to it. It's a brown orange, and I thought it worked really well with this paper. So I've done it, you can see it's along the edges, everything that got folded, and then these straight edges. So that's here. And then on the inside, here is one of the die cuts that is embossed. I added a sheer white ribbon, knotted that in place. I wanted to have a little bird from the front going into the inside. And this is so simple and so lovely. And it will fit in our 10 envelopes, wherever that has gone. But you know what they look like, so that's going to fit perfectly and just work very, very nicely. So there's my first card. Now let's go to the second, and I'm really tickled with this. So as you can see, before I show you that, all of these die cuts, in fact, there's just a ton of them. A lot of them having to do, obviously, this is Flower Shop is the title, so there's a lot of flowers. And I was thinking, okay, how can I make this really special? And I thought, okay, I am going to do this. I'm going to make my own flower shop. And that's exactly what I did. So this is going to fold flat to go in an envelope, and it's going to pop up like this. And there you go, all the way around. I'll talk about that in a minute. Like this, so it's got some crossbars inside. And I think this is the first time I have used the Stadium box dies. This again, fabulous folded. And I am delighted with this, absolutely delighted. I think it looks full. I think it is very flowery. It will fit in our 10 envelopes. In fact, here's our 10 envelopes. So it's going to fit just nicely in here, as would our first card. So that's also good and super easy to make. So I chose the Meadow Blooms paper collection, the 12 by 12, And I elected this to use this first sheet. Now the reason why I chose this is down at the bottom. I loved this look of having the words and this kind of grid-like down at the bottom. And then on the other side, it's darker. And I really liked that because I thought being darker, these lighter, brighter colors are really going to show nicely. And you can see that that's exactly what happened. But the other thing that happened as I am cutting it out, and let me just show you the die pieces. Okay, so there is one big die piece that is going to be in the front. And like I said, I wanted this to be darker. But the nice thing about it in using this paper is that you get a beautiful piece on the other side. And that's what's on the back of my stadium box. Isn't that lovely? So, because our papers always coordinate the fronts and the backs, that's going to work beautifully. So I wanted to make sure that I used this area, and I die cut the arch out of it. And then I also used this area, again, where it's darker, for the front of the box. So what happens, get all my little pieces out of here. So what happens is you've got your one piece, I cut that, and then you have this piece, and you're going to put extra sticky tape on the edges, and you're going to attach that behind the first piece. And that becomes the stand. Then you have these crossbars. Same idea, you trim them out, you die cut them out, put extra sticky tape. This is, by the way, the 1/2 inch extra sticky tape. And then fold these back, like so. And as always, with this type of design, and the reason why I don't bother taking the extra sticky tape liners off when I'm doing the webisode like this is because I hate to take the time for it, because you know what that is, and you don't need to watch somebody do the same thing. So I'm going to take the tape off. I'm going to position this with the legs against the back and even with the side of the sidebar. Do the same thing with this, fold them, and attach the extra sticky tape to the side on both of them. And then you have, voila, as I toss these things over, you have your base, so you can see. Then I went into the die cut. So I wanted to start with this one because this was the one that looked most like the flower stand, the flower shop. And I wanted to be sure that I used the birdhouse. So I'm going to have that at my top. And then I'm going to fill it in with two others. So I chose the pot of flowers with tulips, the watering can, and then the little box that has other flowers. So, and they're all against that beautiful green background. So all of those are just glued, the bottom part of it, of each of those, to the stadium. And you can see how that's going and see how those are even. And then I let this pop up because I knew that I would have room in my envelope that I could make it as tall as, not as tall as I wanted, but I could make it tall. So I always want to make sure that I've got an envelope that I can put these in. And I did add some of the, in fact, I've used those little bluebirds. I decided that there needed to be a little bird going to that birdhouse, so that worked. And then, you know me, I love the butterflies, so I've got some of the gold pearl butterflies down here, and one up here, and one over here too. So just right there. The other thing that was nice is that I took one of those cutouts and glued it right there and put one of the tiny butterflies, so you have room to write your message. And so the back is pretty, just like the front, and I'm just so happy with that. So if you haven't done the stadium, take a look at it. There's just some, you can do some really fun things with it. So I'll be playing with that again too. Okay, my next card. Now, because these papers are 6 by 6, I decided to take my card and make it 5 by 6 inches. Belle, that's enough. Somebody walked in. And when I was looking at the papers, boy, the one that is just perfect for this, obviously, is that wreath. Okay. And as I was looking at that, and that's actually what I do, is I lay out the papers to begin with and look to see, you know, kind of which ones are calling to me. And this one, it's drop dead gorgeous, so it's very pretty. And I decided that, gosh, wouldn't it be neat to have a gatefold? Because that just looks like it would be perfect for it. So I thought, okay, well, that's fine, but I wanted to do more than just a plain gatefold. So I went back to our die cut cards. Now, this is the heart pop-up. So this has got 4 cards, 4 envelopes. It's got all the pieces. In fact, let me pull it out. Okay. So it's got the heart. So there's the heart. There's actually 4 of them. And all you do is pop that out of the backing. So no big deal. Then there is the card base. Okay, so there's my heart. There's my card base. And the way that that heart is held in place is in the middle of the card. So I'm going to just remove this piece like so. And I have 2 score lines there. And I'm going to fold them forward in mountain folds. And then this will simply slip into those cut pieces, just like that. Super easy. Okay, so my card front, you probably have done this, but just in case you haven't, I took my piece and I trimmed it down to be 5 inches because I wanted to be sure I didn't cut off any more of the wreath than I had to. Then I took that piece, I put glue on both of the gates. Then I took this piece and positioned it on top. And then I used my little scissors, these guys, to cut right along that center piece. So then I have 2 of them that match up perfectly. And that's exactly what I wanted. Now, I didn't need to do very much around that very pretty wreath, but I did need to do a couple things. So one thing, I took the Thinking of You again. Remember, it's out of those little pieces. I use that a lot. And foam taped it. Then I took a butterfly. Now, this is a butterfly from our pastel die cut butterflies. Pastel butterflies, they're acetate die cuts. There are 31 of them. And that would have been fine to attach it. But as you can see, and we can get in a little closer, maybe a little closer. Jeanette's pressing a button and it just wasn't working. Okay, but I wanted to do some glitter behind it. So I took a butterfly, and this is the clear glitter adhesive. It comes in 4 sheets, I believe, in the package. And all you do is lift off the sheet. It is attached. So I want to lift the glitter sheet up like so. You can see that glitter. And what's wonderful is the glitter is embedded in the acetate. And I simply took my butterfly, and obviously I used a pink one. There you go. And I placed the back of it on the acetate, like so. Took my little scissors and trimmed right around the butterfly. Now, there you go. Now you can see it better. It actually is a blue butterfly. Just trimmed right around that, and then placed about 1 inch or half an inch of the extra sticky tape right in the middle, lifted up each of the wings, I actually just folded them so that they would hold that fold and position them there. Now that gave me some glitter, but I wanted to duplicate it. So I went with our clear glitter dazzles. And where's my package of clear glitter dazzles, Paulette? I don't see it. Okay, well, you know what they are, and they come in, they're all these strips. This happens to have a gold edge. There's also a sheet with silver edge, and I just placed it just inside the paper. And I used that because I wanted to duplicate the glitter without really having it pow into your face. So just a little bit. Just a sweet look. Okay, now the inside of my card, bazammy. So I took the heart and I used the back side of, I used the green side, obviously, and simply glued it to the heart, trimmed it to fit, and then I used some khaki ink right around the edge to just give it a little bit of a shadow. I cut out the Get Well Soon. You can see I use that everywhere. This is one of the larger die cuts, and this is their butterfly, and it's got words, it's got the art on it. Then I used this sheet, but the back side of it, and cut a piece there and a piece there. And I like the idea of, you know, this is pink and very pretty. Then I open it and you get a wow. And I thought it was fun to have all of these bouquets with this big one. And I kind of like the white separating it. Now I could have extended this here and here because you have multiple sheets of each one, but I liked the white. So I did edge it with that same clear glitter dazzles. And that is my card. There you go, all set. I have one more card for you, and it is this. And this is the same blue that I used on the very first card, remember? And it looks like this in the package. So you can see it's got that darker edge all the way around. And I took the, so many of these, as I talked through all of these, I had cut off the words, and I thought, well, you know, it'd be really nice to use those. So, and as you know, you always want to use an uneven number. So I took another sheet of that stripe, and on the back side of it is this one. So took the stripe, trimmed it down. This is 5 by 6.5, so this is, I believe, 4 by 6 inches. So it's a ½ inch shorter each direction. And simply ink the edge, and this was with royal blue. So did that with my blender brush, glued it to the front of my card. This is the dazzles. This is the fancy border lace dazzles. And I wanted to have one that is pretty wide here, so because I knew I had the room, so that worked nicely. And then I took 3 of them and separated them so that they were further apart, top and bottom, but closer together with each one, and foam taped them in place, just really simple. The Grateful, Thankful, Blessed is a set of dazzles titled Grateful, Thankful, Blessed, and it comes in black, white, and gold and silver. I used the white. I knew that placing white on this lighter area, it wouldn't pop out at you, but I really wanted them just to be there and to let the flowers and the whole setting. I also went back to my bluebirds, and I think I've used those everywhere, and did again 3 different birds. This is the second style of bird, and this is the first that I've used before, and then a smaller one. And I just let them rest, and notice that they go, this is at the edge, in the middle, and toward the end. So my 3s, I've got 3 here, I've got 3 words, I've got 3 birds, I've got them angled in 3 areas. So that's that one. Then on the inside, I used this sheet and again trimmed it down to fit and glued it in place. And I did do a little bit of inking around the edge, again just to extend that and down the cut side. Then I took one of the die cuts, and let me find it for you. It'll be on the last sheet. Yes. Okay, so I have this paper of the flower shop, but I didn't want this to be empty. So I took this one and popped it out, and then took my small scissors and just trimmed right along the edge and foam taped this piece right here. Then I had two more butterflies, so I put them up in the corner. So you can write your message there or there, either way. And that finished my fourth card. Okay, so from Australia, we have the Paper Rose Flower Shop collection of papers, and then also the die cuts. And I will tell you that I had a ton of die cuts left. In fact, I have them right here. So there were 31 and I have 16 left. So I've got a lot of room, and they're really a nice size. Well, this one I used a lot of, but they're really a nice size. That's about 2.5 inches tall. So you can do quite a bit. There's the other half of that one that I trimmed off. So there's just a lot that you can do. And of course, when I'm making these cards, I'm being generous with them because they are, you know, they're the highlight of it. And I love to have the papers and the die cuts really do the job for me. And then I get to play with how to decorate them and also what else to add to them. So we've got these two. We have them in a money saver over on the right-hand side of your screen. I'd love to hear what you think, so please feel free to leave a comment. You just scroll down, go past this screen, down, 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 leave a comment. You don't have to purchase anything to leave a comment, so I'm happy to hear what you have to say. My favorite one was the stadium. I just was so pleased with how that turned out. You tell me what you like best. Of course, I did really like this pop out, and it was fun using that little girl in the garden. So anyway, tell me what you think. Hopefully, I have shared something that's new for you. If you are watching us on YouTube, please like us, please subscribe. That gets our ratings up, and we appreciate your help with that. Head on over to paperwishes.com. See the webisode. I've written all of the instructions. They're down below. Just click on any of the cards and you'll see them. You can print them out if you like to. And we will continue to be carrying Paper Rose. We do bring them in from Australia. We've got a couple of companies that we buy from Australia, which, as you may know, my son and his wife live there. So Australia's dear to our hearts. I want to thank you for joining us. And most of all, thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again soon.